solid multi-week break. Is everybody bright-eyed, bushy-tailed?
You know what, Kate? Like I mentioned, how badly we needed that time off. How badly, just like for all the right reasons. It's pretty well documented. Like our kids, freshmen coming in for basic training, not having parents' weekend, not having any long weekends, not having Thanksgiving, having to go to school online, which isn't the healthiest thing. They not being in class and being there in person and everything that entails. Like our guys needed a break, and I'll tell you what. This guy needed a break, and Joe Doyle needed a break, and Andy Berg and Jacques Lamoureux and everybody else. We all needed a break. And to be honest with you, the 10 days we had off, I went to the guys when they got back. I go, was that the 10 quickest days in hockey history? And they all laughed and started nodding their heads. And it was like it's been such a grind. Those 10 days went just like that. And we needed it. We needed to recharge our batteries. We needed to get away from it. I didn't even require our guys to take their equipment home. Usually, we always have them take their equipment home, try to find some ice at home. But obviously, we didn't want to have we wanted them to rest. It was more mental than physical. These guys are tough guys. They play a violent collision sport. And it was more the mental than the physical. They were mentally exhausted, and I didn't want them to have to find ice and have to put their skates on. Then, not to mention the fact they go to some stick and puck and they pick up COVID from some random dude. I mean, so we just said, go home, relax, come back, and we'll deal with it when you get back. But you're right. They are resilient. They're young, and they came back. They are bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. We've had some great practices. We didn't have any bad ones before. Give them credit. But there's more energy. There's more vigor. One thing, Kate, it reminds me of, and it was a conversation I was just having with Joe Scott, is you don't realize how hard it is to be a student athlete, to be a cadet athlete here. When I went to college, I remember I have a Hall of Fame coach named Bob Peters, and when I went there, I had my meeting with him, and he said, Frankie, there's three things that you can do here. You can be a great hockey player, you can be a great student, and you can have a great social life. He said, the only problem with that, Frank, there's only time for two of those, and that's at Bemidji State, taking 12 to 14 credit hours at a public school. Here, I come here, and I would say to my guys, there's only four things you can do here. And, you can be a great player, you can be a great student, you can be great militarily, and you can have a great social life. Well, it's given their social life is toast. So now they're having to jam three responsibilities in here, academically, militarily, and academically. Hey, it's a military academy. They know that when they come here. But it is so grossly taxing on these kids, and some people just think that they come down here and it's a paid vacation every afternoon. Hey, they're down here, they're busting their butt on the ice physically. They're in the weight room. They're in video sessions. So I guess what I'm saying is, the season wears our guys down because of the responsibilities that they have athletically, academically, and militarily. And you don't notice, you don't really notice it because it kind of is what it is, and they look the way they look, but when we don't have school and we don't have responsibilities militarily, when they come back at times like this, where they're getting all the rest they need, and they're just hockey players, it's amazing how much more bright-eyed they are, how much more vigor they have. And it just dawns on me, like how many games we play against Division I competition, the very best competition in the nation, and how many of those games we play with two-thirds to three-fourths battery acid because of all the other things that they're trying to balance. So it's really been fun. It's fun coaching during the breaks because the kids are so bright-eyed. They're so sharp mentally, and And it's not that way for much of the season. And it's more taxing, Kate. It's even more taxing on the freshmen and sophomores. Once the juniors and seniors, they're into a routine. They don't have as many responsibility. Obviously, they're not going through what the freshmen are going through with the things that freshmen have to do to get to recognition. So it's no surprise that academy teams basically, when our academy teams, and I don't care what sport it is, when we're old and we're deep, that's when we are at our best, because the older guys, the grueling schedule, they're into their majors, that type of things. Militarily, they're in charge of things in their squadron. It's not as taxing, not as grueling on them. And when we are old and deep, that's when we're good. That's when we really have a chance to excel and shine. When our teams are young, good luck on that one. And good luck at any team in college hockey, like if you're young. But when you add all the things, all the responsibilities that our kids have here, and again, like that's what we signed up for. Like they know the rules. That's what it's all. Hey, we are a service academy, and more is going to be expected. But again, taking the long route to answer a short question, it's been great. They are bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and it's fun to work with them. It's so fun to work with them in this type of situation when they are rested and they're sharp mentally.
What did those testing protocols while they were gone and when they came back, what did those wind up looking like?
You know what? So far it's been a home run. The tests were the tests that they took at home. They were required to take a test. Every guy came back with a negative result. We were tested. I can't remember. Today's Wednesday. We were tested when we got back on Saturday night. Marshy, our trainer, tested all the guys, and everybody was negative. They're being tested again right now. They're out in the stands, sitting, waiting to be tested right now, and hopefully we continue to test, get negative results, and then we will get tested, Kate, one more time before we leave. Marshy, our trainer, will test us before we depart for Boston on Friday.
And you've got a weird 4-game road trip coming up with a Sunday-Monday series, and then you head around the lake. What is preparation for this like?
I don't know. I don't think our preparation is any different than it always is. The only thing is we're going to be preparing, instead of preparing for a series midweek after we play Niagara 2 games on Sunday and Monday. And then the next weekend, Friday, Saturday, we play Mercyhurst. Well, instead of coming home and preparing for that series with Mercyhurst, we're going to be out there. Niagara has been gracious enough to provide us with ice time. We're going to stay in Niagara Falls. We're going to go to Erie on Wednesday. And we're going to be doing what we always do. Again, the first part of this trip, there's not going to be any school, so the boys should be rested. There's not going to have to be any study tables. On the back half of that, school will start when we're in Erie, and they will have to get online and pay attention to the first couple days of classes that they miss. But to be honest with you, I can't really say that preparation for this is any different than we would prepare if we were at home. The only difference is we're going to be doing a lot of it on the road. I told the radio show, let's put a plug for the radio show. Are we going to have the radio show next Tuesday?
Definitely good try to.
And so you and Jay are going to rig something up in Niagara Falls. So like our schedule in essence then isn't going to change. And I guess if you guys would like to conference with us, I'm sure we can arrange that too.
Will it be good? Walker Summers having a pretty good year for them so far. Will it be good to see him again?
You know what? And good for him. But good for him. But I don't have much to comment on that. Good for him. He decided that this wasn't the place that he wanted to be. He found a new home and he's doing well there. Good for him. But right now, like. My focus, my thoughts, my energies are all on the guys that are presently in our locker room. If that sounds, I hope that doesn't sound bad, but that's where it is. Be honest with you, I haven't really thought about it.
are you guys going to get your first win during this 4-game road trip?
What am I supposed to say? No? Of course I think we're going to get our first win. Of course I do. If I don't believe that, I shouldn't be sitting in the chair. Right? Is your next story going to be a killer? Or is it going to be a flop? What's it going to be?
Actually, I don't know.
Okay, what's it going to be? You better believe it's going to be a killer. Yeah.
They're not all diamonds.
No, you know what? And all our games ain't either. But going into them, when you put your quill to the paper, you better believe it's going to be. And when we get on the ice next Sunday at Niagara, we better believe that we're going to win that game.
Is there anything in particular you guys have been working on this week to achieve that end?
Well, just our overall game, and my coaches. I've got great coaches, and they put together great curriculums, and I think we're just continuing to work on our overall game because it's not one thing. Like we're bleeding a little bit out of a lot of different orifices, and like right now, if you were looking at the things it's more, if losing is death, it's been death by 1,000 cuts. So there's a lot of areas we need to strengthen our overall game. We are young, we are thin, and that's not a great combination at the Division I level, to be young and to be thin. But that's what we are. It's the only girl we got to dance with, and we got to make the best of what we have. We do have Knowlton is back. And Adams played yesterday, so that's going to hopefully, we got one guy back. Adams hopefully will be back. He was shooting pucks. You couldn't tell that he had a broken hand. So hopefully that's going to help our depth a bit. But what we are doing, we have to take this a day at a time. And I don't coach the scoreboard. I never have. I want to see us make progress as a team. One of the things I didn't like, I sat up in the press box and watched our second game against Team USA, and I didn't I wasn't happy with the amount of turnovers that we had in our own zone. For us to win, we have to play less in our zone, and we have to play more in the offensive zone. And the only way that's going to happen is for us to make quick exits when we can. And when we can't make quick exits, we protect the puck and we hard our way out. We grind our way out. And so where it all starts, before you can win, and I've said this to you, you've got all my quotes, like before we can win and win with consistency, we first have to become difficult to play against. And the first part of being difficult to play against is not having to play in your zone in an inordinate amount of time. We need to play more in the offensive zone. Now you get us down there, we're playing more in the offensive zone, and we're not scoring enough goals, then we'll get after that. But right now, we've got to be better in our zone. And it's hard to score goals in college hockey. It is. Everybody's well coached, and it's extremely hard to score goals when you're young and when you're thin. So we have to find ways to manufacture a lot of ways to score goals. But first and foremost is you need to be in the offensive zone to be able to do that. You need to be pitching during the course of a game more than you're catching, because you're going to draw more penalties. You're going to have more opportunities to play on the power play, and you're probably going to be penalty killing less. Like this is hockey. We're not splitting atoms here. We're not in charge of the new vaccine. We're coaching hockey. It's pretty simple stuff.
Does the return of Knowlton mean that Billy Duma hangs up number 10 for now?
Billy Duma, let me tell you, is going to be in the mix in some way, shape, or form. When you're the one guy, if you're the 13th forward, or if you're the 20th player that we dress 19 skaters. Trust me, you are going to be called upon, and you're going to be called upon soon, because again, this is hockey. It's not a contact sport. It's a violent collision sport, and people are going to get hurt. They're going to get injured, and we're going to need extra bodies. Not only do we need Billy Duma, but we need to get Brian Adams back as well, and that's at a minimum. And then we pray that the injury gods are kind to us.
I'm good.
That's good. You know what? That made my day.
Let's,
Like, how good is your next article going to be? When you said, "Are you good or are you great? Are you good or are you great?" Come on.
I can't commit.
Is the glass half full or the glass half empty?
We have 2 days left of 2020, so glass is half full right now.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm with you, Kate. Let's put this year in the rearview mirror. I'm all for that. Yeah.